Hi, my name is Danny Tfagan. I'm a student nurse at Gurnick Academy, and this is my instructor, Melissa Parker. Um, is it okay? She's going to be watching me do a head toe assessment on you. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give the patient privacy. I'm going to do correct hand hygiene. Do you have any pain on a scale of 1 to 10?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, then I'm gonna check your vitals, your blood pressure, your temperature, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Okay? Do you know who the president of the United States is?
Donald Trump.
Do you know what the date is today?
September 23rd, 2020.
Do you know your first and last name
Luana Cavignon.
and your date of birth?
11/16/1995.
Okay, I'm gonna double check with your wristband. Okay? Your first and last name
Luana Cavignon.
and your date of birth.
11/16/1995.
Thank you. Okay, so my patient is alert and oriented ×4. And then, so I'm going to raise the bed to a more comfortable position so I don't hurt my back while I'm working on this patient. And I'm going to start by evaluating my patient's head to make sure there's no cuts, no bruises or abrasions on her head. Check her scalp thoroughly, make sure everything's okay. Make sure you get the back. Everything looks okay, nothing's wrong. Her head looks perfectly fine. I'm not feeling any lumps or anything on her scalp. And then next, I'm gonna be using my pen light to check her eyes, her pupils. So if you can, follow the light with your eyes and don't move your head. Okay, her pupils are reacting to the light, so her eyes are perla. And now I'm going to be checking her ears to see if there's any drainage coming out of both sides. Make sure there's no cuts, no bruises. Make sure there's no redness or any ear infections. Everything looks good. And then I'm gonna be checking, or I'm gonna whisper something to her and see if she can hear me and repeat it back to me. So she can hear. Everything is all right with her ears, and I'm going to be moving on to her nose to make sure there's no discharge or lesions. No discharges found either. I will be checking her septum to make sure everything is straight and nothing is crooked, because if there is any sort of difference with her septum, she will have a hard time breathing. So I'm checking her nose, her septum. Everything looks good. No drainage, no discharge. And then I'm gonna be checking her mouth. If you can open your mouth for me, say ah. There's no redness. There's no canker sores. There's no cuts. There's no bleeding. Everything looks good with her gums. And then I'm gonna be checking her neck muscles. Make sure everything is good. No tenderness or anything. So there's no lumps, there's no bruises, everything looks fine, no tenderness. Her neck feels relaxed. And then I'm gonna have you look to the left for me, please. Now I'm gonna have you look to the right. And you can look back straight. And then can you pick your head up off the pillow for me? Thank you. Everything looks good. Can you move your arms? Can you move your fingers? Wiggle them for me. Everything looks good there. I'm going to be checking the cap refills on her fingers. Cap refills are coming back quick. so everything looks good there. Alright, now I'm gonna be listening to her applicable and mitral pulses for 1 minute with the bell of the stethoscope. The patient doesn't feel comfortable taking off her clothing, so I'm gonna be checking over her clothing. And I'm gonna be doing this for 1 full minute. Alright, everything sounds good. And then I'm gonna be listening to the patient's lungs, the front sounds, and then I'm gonna listen to the lung sounds in the back. If you can sit up for me, please. Can you take a deep breath for me? And again. One more time. Alright, now I'm gonna listen to the back. Deep breaths, please. I'm gonna be listening to any wheezings or crackles within the lungs. Make sure everything's okay. I hear no wheezing or crackling in her lungs. Everything sounds good. And then now if you can lay back down for me, I am going to be checking her abdomen. I'm going to start from the right lower quadrant, and I'm going to move up to the right upper quadrant, to the left upper quadrant, and then back down to the left lower quadrant. I'm going to be checking for her bowel movement, make sure nothing sounds out of place. Everything sounds good. It doesn't sound like there's any problems going on with her. Have you had any issues going to the bathroom?
No.
How about when was your last bowel movement?
Yesterday.
Is your stool normal? Is the color consistent?
Yes. It's normal.
When was the last time you ate?
Last night?
Any problems with eating?
No.
Any pain or discomfort when urinating?
No.
How about any blood in your urine?
No.
Okay, so everything looks good there with the abdomen. I'm gonna move on to the legs. so I'm checking. I'm gonna check the top of the feet and inside of the ankle bones to make sure they are equal and looking for any swelling. Everything looks good. I'm assess the bottom of her feet for cap refill. Everything looks good. And I'm gonna push back on your feet. And I'm gonna pull them forward. No resistance. Okay, and then I'm gonna check for her extremities range of motion. No resistance there. Everything looks good. And then I'm gonna. Can you actually turn over for me so I can check your back area? So I'm checking. I'm looking for any ulcers, no redness, no odor, no swelling anywhere on the back of her legs, on her back. There's no redness. There's no swelling. She has no ulcers, which is a great sign. Everything looks good. No cuts. And then I'm gonna flip the patient back over to her backside. And I'm gonna put the bed back in lower position. And I'm gonna give the patient access to a call light. And then I'm gonna document any abnormal or normal findings.